This is a hero I have wanted in the game for years, and it is Maximilian. He's been teased in comics, in-game lore, and even animations, but not much is known about him other than his run-ins with Talon and Overwatch. So this video today is going to be me going in depth about a hero that I would really like added to the game, and what his abilities, his ultimate, what role he would be in. So let's begin all that. Firstly, the role. My guess is that since he isn't hands-on, it would be more suited to put him in the support role. After all, he doesn't like conflict, but only likes things to be resolved, either by bargaining or whatever that might be. So I feel like he wouldn't be a tank and he wouldn't be a DPS hero, just by simply his demeanor, his lore, and what we already know about him. So honestly, placing him here feels just right. However, his stats. What would his stats be? I would say I would either say 275 HP with 75% of his HP being shield, or I can see him having 300 HP. My reasoning behind this is because he will have very little to no movement, since we don't really see him running or moving quickly in any of the animations or comics he is in. I would also like to point out the fact that the reason I'd really like another Omnic in the game is because it would be our second Omnic healer that's ever been released. We had Zen and that's it. I think Maximilian is just such a good hero to add into the game. So Maximilian will have two different types of weapons that he can swap, kind of like Mercy, like with Blue Beam and Healing Beam. He will have Overwatch coins as one attack, so kind of like being able to deal damage with playing cards as one attack, and he will have playing cards with his primary healing. For his primary attack, he can choose either between buffing your own team or debuffing the enemy team. So for example, if he throws a coin out, it has to hit onto your team member or the enemy team. It can't just be like a nade or whatever. He would physically have to hit that person, and like the coins itself wouldn't deal much damage. So this is kind of like the drawback of this is that he does very little damage, but he can have impact if he lands shots, kind of similar to Anna in that sense, if she lands sleep dart, except it wouldn't hinder them or anything like that. It would probably just either make them slow for 0.2 of a second or reduce their healing by like 5%, something that's not so overpowered that is game breaking, but something that can be there as fun and can really stack up if it's consistent. Next would be his ability. So his passive ability I think would be interesting, and making it so that his damage would go up if an enemy doesn't notice you, like a LOS type deal. The reason I'm saying this is because he's very sneaky. He's always like sneaking around, he's doing a lot of dark shit. So I think this would be very interesting to have. So if someone doesn't see you in their line of sight, or if you're sneaking up behind them, you can deal increased damage, but the second they see you, it stops. His playing cards that he would throw would be similar to Kiri's healing, however would require aim similar to Anna's. I think this would add a bit more skill to him. Like, he has his HP, but he's not going to be getting anything like auto aim with the heals. He has to physically launch them. The healing and the damage and all that would be up to interpretation, however it would align with Overwatch, because I think that these on their own can be quite strong. Tuning them would be a big issue. However, let's move on to the abilities. I think his first ability would be a coin toss. If heads, everyone in his line of sight would be granted a certain amount of healing, or if it was tails, it would increase the attack / movement speed of said heroes. This could either be to one hero himself, or it could be a line of sight thing, whatever it was chosen up to be, because I think it'd be quite cool to have something like that. You know, a coin toss, you don't know what you're going to get, but either way it could really help in that situation. I could see this being on something like a 6 to 8 second cooldown range. His secondary ability would be on a longer cooldown, so probably 15 or 16 seconds. It would allow him to gain faster movement speed and increased healing for a few seconds. Or it could be swapped around, where this would be a shorter cooldown so that he could actually get some movement speed. Whatever would really suit him. I think these two abilities are a nice little touch. And finally, his ultimate, that could have a few possible ideas behind it, such as we always see him getting protected. Maybe he summons a bodyguard where it blocks damage from the enemy team, or his ult can whisk him away to safety, such as the nearest health pack or spawn room, something to that effect. Or it could be a bargaining mechanic where you can have the chance to die, but also have the chance to inflict massive amounts of damage to the enemy team. These are just a few things that I've come up with on stream and hearing people on stream talk about, because he is such a cool hero. Well, he's not a hero yet, but he's such a cool character in the Overwatch universe, and I just love his lore. I love how secretive he is, and he could really make a huge impact in this game, I believe. I would really like to know what people think of this fun idea for a hero, and what would you change or agree on. Make sure to let me know either in the comments down below, or you can come over to me on twitch.tv/LenaOverwatch2 for more Overwatch content, but I'll see you all in the next one.